What's up, loved ones? How y'all doing? So this is the last video of the True series. I think this may be video 9. Uh, so if you made it this far and you watched all the videos, I commend you in being diligent and uh, being a person that's seeking all the knowledge that they can get. Because I think it's very important because I have a friend that always says this. He says, "What's the number one rule? What's the number one reason why man perishes?" And he says, "Lack of knowledge." And this is his favorite line to use. But it's up to us to educate ourselves, and in areas where we lack, it's up to us to go uh, seek information in those areas where we lack, instead of being victims, instead of being people that accept weakness over our life, and being people who have a reason to complain, and all these lower level type deals. And if you are a chosen one, and you come this far with this video, with these videos, that's of course not your type. You know what I'm saying? That's not you. But keep in mind, there are many other souls out there that are still suffering, and they don't know the way. They may not have the mindset you have, or the support system that you have, or even the charisma, or a curiosity and ambition to solve problems for themselves. And and I think I think it's important that one light always lights another, you know, and we be we be lights to each other, and the best way to be a light is to be a living example. To be a living example. And if you clicked on this video, you probably seen the artwork to this video. It's a picture of Trinity and a picture of Neil saying, "Knowing is believing, one of the ones." And the reason I chose that artwork is because Trinity represents the Holy Trinity, one. Neil represents the nucleus. Of course, he's the one. Um, Now, the interesting thing about the movie The Matrix is, throughout the whole series, the movie was about escaping this programming that kept everybody in this little comfortable bondage, to where they this level of bondage where they weren't even living with their own thinking. They were just living with the program. And Neil was a seeker. Neil was a seeker, and he would, even though he would work his job through the day, he would get off from work and he would live this life to where he was searching for answers. He was searching for answers. It was just something he felt deep inside of himself, that something was some, there was something else. There was something else. There was something more. And as a chosen one, you've probably felt this your whole life. You always felt like there's something else, there's something more. It's been very hard for you to accept this reality that we're in. It's been very hard for you to accept this reality that we're in, and accept and understand why people are operating the way they operate. And it just like, but also, as a chosen one, you've been programmed. I've been programmed. And part of our journey to become coming to being one of the ones is that we had to escape the program, or you probably in the midst of escaping the program. And generally, the thing is, it's so important for us. It's so important for us to represent our own personal truth, and live authentically, and live in our freedom, mainly because this is one light lighting another light. As you start to develop and become a more authentic individual on this journey, and become more free flowing and giving information to those you feel needed, you're gonna start to see something very interesting happen. you're going to start to see a light come on in them as they come into themselves. You're gonna start to see lights come on inside of those around them, and people are just gonna start lighting up. So this whole chosen thing is not this journey as some people are painting on the internet where I'm the chosen one and it's the chosen ones, it's me or us against them. No, this is not what it is. It's not us against them. The chosen one journey, okay, you've had a very unique experience and it's forced you to arrive where you arrived. As to where people may be in levels of comfort or something that's they're not there yet. Like I was talking to my cousin just shortly ago, and he was saying like, bro, like I've been through so much stuff on this path, man. He's like, he was like, and he said like, yeah, I know for sure you've been through a lot of stuff, and I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, and I was discussing with him like, to me, in my journey, like what people things that happened to me in my journey, that I just moved past and didn't think nothing of. That may be for some person, it may be their whole like life testimony. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it was a regular day, and I kept it moving. And I had a strong capacity to go through adversity and not trip about it and just keep it moving. And for some, everybody's not built like that. Everybody's not built like that. And that's a quality of a chosen person. Like the way we deal with the pain journey, like our response to it is a lot different. We just like it's almost like people would think we're unaffected. We're affected, but there's something going in and on inside of us that keeps us diligent to where we keep it moving. And what's going on is a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual thing. Even if we have not arrived yet, we just know it's something. The thing that keeps us going is like we're not so deeply indulged in this world as a lot of souls in this deep slumber that are literally walking around thinking with others people's thinking. Not there's no ounce of their own thought, and they may even fight against you. You're wrong about this, you're wrong about that, and everything that comes out their mouth is not a thought of individuality. It is a programmed thought. And I've sat up and had conversations with people, and they think they're teaching me something, and I said every word that you're saying, I could even name the text it comes from. You know what I'm saying? I read so much, and I said there's not original thought in anything that you're talking about. And I was like, can you tell me literally something that you feel and you think and from your own level of expression? And I say all of this to say, like, as chosen people, a thing that we have is that a lot of people don't have is we just have this level of individuality that's sitting right under the surface, and the pain journey is really about breaking you through to say basically F it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just gonna do me. Like nothing like it forces you to arrive at this level of truth. So it's set up a certain way. But don't don't get so callous to where you think like, oh, my journey's been like this, and um uh you know what I mean, F everybody else, I'm a chosen one, because you're waking up and you are seeing that there's something very unique about you. And get so callous to be like F them, like plant a seed. Plant a seed. And how we plant a seed, like I said, we live, we be, and do as a living example. Other chosen people wake up, lights go off. Then as more people wake up, then the ones in deep slumber start to wake, because overall the culture is culture of humanity is changing. Everything's changing. One light is lighting up another, you know? And so this is not a us against them thing. This is not like that. This is not how this is. You know, just as Neo in the movie represented something in the beginning, everybody said, Neo, he's the one. He's the one. He's the one that's capable of getting this done. He's the one that has the capacity to get this done. Neo, let's look towards Neo. And they believed Neo was the one, and he was gonna save humanity or save Zion. And it was very true. It was prophesized. Neo was very capable of being the one because Neo was a high level seeker. His day job, his night job was seeking. You know, and he stayed diligent in seeking. And who knows if anybody was seeking as hard as Neo. And that was probably the biggest quality that separated him. But as the movie series progressed, Neo does does a lot of miraculous things. He frees his mind. He becomes this individual with qualities that were sitting in him that you would have never known. As he continued to free his mind, you start to see more unfold in him. But the very interesting thing about the movie is in the fourth movie, after all these miraculous things Neo has accomplished in the movie, I think they were falling off the building. It was one of the last scenes, and I don't know what, he couldn't fly or something, and he was about to fall, and all of a sudden, Trinity catches him, and she's holding him. She's saving his life. You're like, wow, she's saving the one. And it's in that moment you realize not only Neo is the one, Trinity is the one. She's one of the ones. And what happened was simple. I think she said it in one of the movies, if it was the third movie, she said in the scene that Neil had said something, and she said, I've learned so much from you. And Neil was, I forgot what it was, but she said that line to him. She said, and I don't even think it was in relation to anything he said. She just said, I learned so much from you. In watching Neil be Neil and live in his greatness, she started to see her own greatness. She started to see that he started to ignite something in her. She was in love with Neil. And this is very interesting too. It's almost like looking at Neil, she's seeing aspects of herself that she was in love with. Neil brought her closer to feel love inside herself. You know, because, you know, Trinity was not that far off from getting released from the Matrix 2, I think, in the first movie. So, you know, her journey was lonely, but her journey was lonely too. And she identified, once Neil arrived, as the series goes, she identified with pieces of Neil. You know what I'm saying? Neil identified with pieces of her. And it's just like this light going off. They're looking at each other. They're looking at another chosen. And all I'm saying is, with all this, as we live, do, and be that living example, the lights go off and we all wake up. And that's when humanity starts to change. And I don't think that's no overnight process or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you arrived. You one of the ones. Now, it's up to you what you're going to do with that. How you going to live that out. How you going to represent that. You know what I'm saying? But with that said, before I'm out, if you haven't, I want you to go get my book. And this is a great book. This is one of my first books. It's called Absolute Mind Shift. And this book is like just talking about how I hit rock bottom several times Everybody was like, it's over for him, he's done. But I managed to get back up with more intensity, more focus, more clarity. After every loss, I became stronger. During that process, if you were chosen one, you probably, why am I going through this? Why is it so hard? And I stopped saying all of that bull crap. Why is it hard? Why was I going through that early on? And I started praying for pain. Not literally, but paint this and that. I start to see the value in pain. I noticed when I was self-pleasing, I was taking losses monetarily. I was taking losses financially. I was taking losses mentally, recovery. I was losing days. But when I experienced pain, there was always growth. So the thing that we've been taught in one of the deceptions, and True Secrets about deception, that pain will run from it. I've got the greatest things from pain. The pain I endured and sustainably moved past. I've always got wiser, and people were like, early on, I probably seemed like an idiot, you know what I'm saying? Because I just didn't identify with the program. So I was doing things in my way and messing up and, making mistakes. But through all of that is a learning experience to come into your own uniqueness, your own unique quality and individuality, to use your own mind, as a chosen person. So I got an intensity out of that. And so this book is really about the shift that happened in my mind. And there was many more shifts after that. You know what I'm saying? There's many more shifts. Like, the awakening process, the spiritual shift probably catapulted me more than anything. And that's what my next book about. So look out for that. And with all of that said, man, love y'all. And oh yeah, you're the one. As one lights up another, then we discover one key thing. It's just one. It's just one. So continue to prosper as love, light, being. Holla.